Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Whoopsies. Welcome back to Challenger Spectate. Well, today again isn't a Challenger Spectate, but we're focusing in on this guy. I actually kind of like his name. Relax or I tax. If you don't know what that means or what reference, jungle taxing is basically when a jungler will take a laner's farm. It's called taxing the lane. And obviously he's like, yo, relax, or I'll tax your lane. I think it's kind of funny. Right, so first thing to say, what the hell was that about? Why did he do, what did he do, and why did he base? Just as a little thing, that if this is the only thing that you learn in this entire video, it might be worth it for you. And I'll be honest, I forgot to do this today, and I will say something in a second. But what he did, he started with yellow trinket. Both junglers started with yellow trinket. He then placed it to get, you know, vision. He then based and then swapped to red trinket. You get to keep that ward, but then as a jungler, you get your red trinket to deny vision to go do ganks. It's the most optimal thing to do as a jungler. And what I was going to say is, the reason why we're watching a ZAC today is I'm getting back into jungling. I'm recording this after my duo session with Vixie today, so worth noting, there is going to be some more duo episodes with her over the next few days. Again, you guys are really enjoying that, which is great. And I jungled in all the games today, but I felt a little bit rusty. I did fine, and you'll find out in a few days those videos as they come out. I didn't play ZAC though, and I think ZAC is incredibly strong right now, and I think a lot of people do. So I thought, let's watch a ZAC, and also we can kind of see what the jungle's like, what is a really high rating jungler kind of looking to do, and see if I can pick anything up that way. So level 1 gets the red, level 2 gonna go do the chickens, and then probably gonna go up to the Krugs. Again, ZAC might be a bit of a different jungler when it comes to clearing because he's got such a good AoE wave clear. And he's got good sustain, right? His passive, if you don't know how ZAC works, basically ZAC spells cost health for him to use, but every time he uses a spell, a little bloblet of his will fall off his body. Now, I don't know if the bloblets, and I don't think they are, or maybe they are, with the replays being a little bit... Yeah, they're not, unfortunately. The replays are bugged, so we're not actually seeing his little blobs fall on the floor, but he'll be kind of using ability. He'll walk over on one of his blobs, and he'll pick health back up. Well, both junglers just completely missed each other then. That was kind of weird. Set, by the way, got first blood in top lane. Renekton TPing back with no sustain. He just buys a cloth armor, gets no sustain, and now ZAC is on a little bit of the back foot. Obviously, the difference between ZAC and Elise. Elise definitely is good to do this, by the way. A lot of early game bullying. That's kind of her bread and butter, is to bully people in the early game. Where ZAC, obviously, he's not the worst jungler in the early game, but he's not a duelist, right? He's not about that individual spell damage. He's more about kind of ganking a lot and farming pretty well in the early game and getting to like mid game pretty much. All right, so this time, unfortunately, the set goes down. And let's actually just change people around here. Right, we're good. So one thing worth to mention, obviously, we're not focusing on the enemy team. A little bit of a weird bot lane. So you've got Misfortune and Pantheon bot lane. So that's a little bit weird, and what makes it even weirder is if you actually look at the Misfortune setup, she's running Exhaust. Why is she running Exhaust? Well, for a couple of reasons. Maybe the Misfortune wanted the Pantheon to run Exhaust, and she's like, we need one. Why does she need an Exhaust? Syndra bot lane. The biggest counter to Syndra's damage, literally in the game, is just exhausting her as she ults. Enemy team looking for a dive? Jesus, and now ZAC will come in the back and gets that kill. Unfortunately, the Syndra did die, but the enemy team is diving at level 3. That's a little bit crazy, but okay. Now, this I probably wouldn't push that in when the Syndra's got teleport. She could just teleport back to lane, and she just did that again. Replays are still bugged. ZAC going to return over to the scuttle. What I liked about that also was priorities, right? As a jungler, sometimes you're a bit like, oh, I'm doing this camp, but a play is happening nearby. What do? You'll notice that the ZAC stopped doing the scuttle and went to bot lane. That is, I'd say, majority of the time the answer is to drop what you're doing and go and help. And now, by the way, ZAC clearing over on the blue side. So yeah, a pretty weird clear. This is something that I can definitely pick up from watching this guy, is I would not have thought to do this if I didn't watch this replay. So ZAC is one of the junglers in League that can kill both of these at the same time. Meanwhile, Misfortune dies again in bot lane. Pantheon does get a kill. And by the way, yes, they did kill Set in top lane again in a 2v1. But yeah, there we go. ZAC gets a nice clearing there. Syndra gets a double kill. And obviously now that the bot lane is struggling a little bit. So again, I don't know if the Pantheon on the red team is like a main, or no, blue team actually. I don't know if he's like a main or a one trick or something, because I don't know, Pantheon support. I mean, I guess it might work, but obviously in the premise of it, like, let's be honest, is going to be we have to win lane, I'd say, like snowball the lane. So in theory, like the Syndra is actually winning lane, but if you just played passive against it, then surely kind of it restricts how good Pantheon support will do. At least to me. So ZAC getting a bit of vision there with a thingy ward, control ward. Set fighting more in top lane, by the way. This lane is all about the fight, boom, boom. And Set's on the back foot. Is ZAC going to go over and help? Nope, because the Set has actually got away. Saw Elise here, so in theory, Nico should be careful probably about there right now. If not, maybe an invade could happen. There's the Elise, we literally called it. But they do get out, which is really nice. You'll also notice that Nico is running Cleanse this game. And I'll just tell you guys, one thing that has made me, you know, we spoke about, you know, duoing with Vixie and stuff. She's obviously an insane Zoe. One of the best Zoes on EU West, literally. And that's not even memeing. She literally is one of the best Zoes on EU West. Enemy team going to go for a dive. ZAC, really nice boing boing. He gets one kill. He gets ignited, gets a double kill. ZAC, on the hits level 6 in all of this, is then with the Elise, going to pick up a triple kill on ZAC. Let's go. But as I was mentioning, duoing with Vixie and like playing with her more has really opened my eyes of like how to counter certain mages, because obviously she is a main mage player. And obviously Zoe is always one of those like, oh Jesus, she's so overpowered. She's not actually, if you know how to play against her. And that's the thing, maybe a lot of people just don't know how to play up against certain champions. One, take Cleanse against Zoe all the time. No matter what champion you're playing, Cleanse is the answer. Because usually what happens is a Zoe will land that sleep, get baited in, you Cleanse, and then go aggressive on her. And yeah, either champions with Lockdown or complete all-in beat Zoe 9 times out of 10. So, again, learning from better players on those champions is how you learn kind of in theory. And that's what these challenge spectators are all about. You know, I've learned how to play against Zoe and other mages because I'm just playing with Vixie and she's been explaining it. But watching these replays is us kind of like, instead of talking to that person and learning from them like as an individual basis, it's watching how everything is happening. You can see like the enemy team is going so aggressive to deny the set that it is, in a weird way, actually working against them in some avenues. And, you know, let's be honest, Renekton should really be winning the early game. He did get first blooded by the set. I don't know if it was a tower dive or something. A set is going to outscale a Renekton. Is going to happen. So it's a matter of time, really. And you just got to, again, speaking as experience as someone that plays set, you just got to hold on and be like, dude, I am strong later. I will get there. Meanwhile, Renekton under the tower again, nearly killing the set and might actually re-engage. That was a bad W, I'd say. He has to be careful. There is a Nico. That is a Nico there with an ultimate. Bad flash with the ultimate. Bot lane again getting dove. Pantheon dies again. ZAC jumping in, lands the Q. Then the ultimate to bounce him a little bit back. And then Set just goes straight into him on the wall. Probably a little bit of frustration in there. Because I'm not sure he needed to use ultimate, but it's always good to confirm the kill. And that's what happened. So Itembuild, by the way, for the ZAC and everything else that we can talk about. He is maxing E, by the way. And that is standard for ZAC. Why? Your E, obviously, is your main engaging tool. When you're leveling it up, it increases the range of how far you can jump. And obviously, it'll also reduce the cooldown of it a little bit. So overall, it's the only answer really to do, only thing to max. So again, Set does die, he overstays, gets ganked, and Pantheon is now top lane, which is a bit weird. Then probably maxing W. Yep, he's maxing W second, and I realised, I think last time I did a replay, unfortunately, I'll remove the sub number because I'm not streaming right now, but you can see most points in E, then the W, then the Q. Itembuild has built his Cinderhulk first, then his Mercury Treads. Mercury Treads, I'd probably say, is relatively the standard boot on ZAC. There will be some instances that you go Ninja Tabby, like if the enemy team is like legit AD heavy, like completely. But the enemy team's got an Elise, they've got a Twisted Fate, so there is magic damage, obviously, that they want to avoid. And obviously Mercury Treads has the anti-CC tenacity part of it too. Which honestly is like, most of the time, that's the reason you're actually buying Mercury Treads. And obviously the enemy team's got Renekton W Stun, Elise Cocoon, Twisted Fate Gold card, Pantheon W. That was unfortunate timing for ZAC. They are maybe going to just ignore that the Pantheon's around, and he's just going to force the dragon, which... questionable. Is it because... yeah, it is because Elise is top lane again. So that is why. So again, this game is looking pretty rough for Red Team. It's not a free win. The set is having a really bad game. If you look at the farm, the set is half farm of the Renekton. Half farm, and has already died 5 times. Obviously, the ZAC himself is doing quite well, 4-0. Obviously, that triple kill dive helped a lot with that. But what I want to see here is, like, what can the ZAC do to, like, it's a rough game. And if you're any jungler in this situation, like, God, this is going to be hard. You know, my Nico, it's not that strong of a pick anymore. You've got your full AP damage apart from set, and your set is doing bad. So in the back of your mind, you're like, what the hell do we do to turn this game around? Like, I'd be nervous in this game if I was playing, like, Lee Sin and I was AD damage. Well, the set is AP damage as well. Sorry, the ZAC is AP damage as well. So yeah, this replay should be pretty interesting to see, like, how can he turn it around if he does. Bot lane, all craziness is happening. Nico's down there. Another potential dive happening. They have the Rift Herald. He's going aggressive. Lands 1 Q, lands another Q. Set is waiting on his W. Gets the W. ZAC gets the kill on Renekton. And that's the fun thing, by the way. And again, I don't know if it's ZAC being Set being overpowered. I think the champion again is strong. I don't think he's overpowered. But the one thing that always makes me kind of go is his W. Right now, he's 2 and 5, but he could basically do near 350 true damage every 10 seconds, roughly. There's no other champion practically in the game that can do that, and he just can do it for poke. And that gives him a shield. Like, that's the thing. His W is just very, very strong. Twisted Fate actually teleporting to top lane, trying to get a pick here, with also the enemy bot lane, by the way. There's 4 people top lane. What is going on? All right. That should give priority to the red team on this tower down here for sure, but this tower up here will die. And that was, I believe, First Blood Tower, maybe? I believe it was. So, yeah. ZAC doing a bit more farming. Again, one thing to point out, and apologies if I'm saying again a lot. I just kind of realized I might be doing that. It's sometimes hard to expand your language as you're doing a commentary. His farm. Look at his farm. 97 farm. He is 37 farm over the Elise already. He's doing better in farm than his Syndra in bot lane. And not even that. He's doing better in farm than the enemy Misfortune. It's so much farm. And how is it? Well, again, maybe his name is a clue, but relax or I tax. Maybe his team aren't relaxing. Maybe they're a bit panicky, going, we're going to lose this game, so he's been taxing their lanes. Like there, he literally just took Nico's whole mid lane wave. Oh god, and maybe the Nico's angry about it. That was questionable. ZAC now on the back foot. Misfortune does die in the bot side against the 2v1. ZAC going to make his way out, so I do not know what that was about with the Elise. The Nico. That was odd. Elise now potentially getting caught. Really nice set play, actually. She's getting CC'd completely and dies to the hands of the mighty set. Now, unfortunately, though, the enemy is full engaging, and they're now on the back foot. Syndra teleported and all that. Again, apologies. We do not see teleports because of the replays being bugged. And now red team is on the back foot. Can they get away? The stun comes through. Pantheon's over on the thresh. A lantern is probably needed. You can see they're going to split to try and then use the lantern with then a hook. ZAC now in the fight again. Now he's getting caught. Syndra doing a bit of damage. ZAC passive pop. Renekton going all in. Gets 1 kill. ZAC in his blobbies is probably going to die. Thresh also dies. So all round a pretty bad situation for red team. That is ZAC's first death, though. Gold-wise, worth noting, he is, if I could... Okay, apparently the keybind is not, unfortunately, working. So I don't know if I actually can go over to the gold. Again, that's kind of annoying. How do I see this? Go here, and then... Maybe I can't. Again, legit, the keybind just isn't working. For those that are wondering, by the way, how am I getting replay files with now the match history being broken in League of Legends? Using a third-party website. It's one of the main websites that you can look up profiles and stuff. But that also might mean the replays aren't also perfect. Because, yeah, the unfortunate thing is the button that I always have bound to gold is X, and that isn't working. I guess we can just quickly check while nothing is going on. Sorry for this, everybody, but why not while nothing is going on? Where would it be? It would be in here, I would imagine. Items. Again, there's probably someone going to be screaming it, but I couldn't see it just in my little quick glance, and I don't want to be looking at that too much. ZAC going very aggressive. The Elise is getting potentially caught. ZAC ultimate comes through. Misfortune may be going a bit too aggressive herself. Never mind, the Nico gets caught by the support, by the way. And I think the Pantheon pretty much just killed the Nico straight up. But yeah, I do, by the way, think... Unfortunately, I like the champion, but I do think Nico is in a very, very weak position right now. Meanwhile, top lane... Damn, dude, the set gets killed at his tier 2 tower. Just, again, put in perspective, tier 2 towers do a lot of damage at this stage in the game. Or at all stages, really. ZAC now fighting with his blue. He manages to get it, gets the smite off. He's now in a 2v1. Nope, never mind. He's now in a 1v3. Thresh comes to make it a 2v3. ZAC dies because he didn't have passive. And now the Misfortune ults doesn't get anything from it. And I'll be honest, what is going through my thought process right now, everybody, is... Did I accidentally download the wrong replay? That is actually what is going through my mind right now, if I'm completely honest. We're just, I'd say, over halfway through this game. So there is plenty more action to potentially come. But this is going to be interesting. Like there, 400 damage, by the way, true damage to Renekton. This is going to be interesting to see if anything can be done. Nico's dead again. Thresh misses his hook. Renekton now in a 2v1. Can Set do anything about it? Thresh even has to flash. Syndra down in the area, though. They will finally get the kill. And ZAC, as you can see here, is heading on his way down to bot lane to get all that juicy farm that a jungler normally never gets. Misfortune in the mid lane isn't having a good game herself. She is 2-5. But, you know, when the enemy Twisted Fate is buying a Medjai's, you know you're probably on the back foot in the actual game. And as we mentioned earlier, logically, to me right now, there isn't many ways that Red Team should win this game. Again, to run it through, Red Team is full AP damage apart from Set. He's the only AD champion. Set legitimately just got soloed by the enemy support. So in terms of doing actual AD damage, you probably are not going to rely on the Set that's dying to the enemy support. As we mentioned earlier, we said about Pantheon support. Again, probably can work, has to snowball, has to do well. What did this Pantheon do this game? Did well, so well done to him. But yeah, I honestly don't know the win condition. And I, by the way, did check. We're watching the right game. So keep watching, apparently. I, again, don't see how anything could potentially turn. Maybe ZAC is just an absolute monster. Enemy team now going for it. Renekton probably going a bit too crazy, actually. He does a lot of damage to the Thresh. Whoa! Aggressive flash. Gets boinked. Misfortune does get the kill, though, in Syndra. Now ZAC is having a little bit of a party with the Crocodile. ZAC has to be careful, though. If Twisted Fate is in the area, he gets hooked by the Thresh. Run away. He is re-engaging because the Nico is over the wall. Doesn't basically do any damage. Nice hook there by the old Thresh boy. ZAC is now on the back foot. Thresh comes in and ults the Twisted Fate randomly. What is going on? Set is going to try and finish off the Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate Zhonya's. Can the Set get away? No, he can't. The enemy team is starting to snowball. We've spoken about it many a time. It's called momentum. The enemy team have momentum. It's very hard to make a recovery, and that is what's happening now. Momentum is when you're winning every fight, when you're getting the objectives, when you're getting the towers, and it just doesn't stop. When it doesn't stop, well, the game's over, because then you just end up winning. What Red Team has to do to have any chance of making a comeback this game is stop the momentum swing that the enemy team has. They've got to put them on hold for a while to slow down the game to kind of like relax. Unfortunately, again, momentum. Syndra dies at tier 2. Again. So item build, by the way, for ZAC, we haven't mentioned it too much. It's a standard blue. Oh, Renekton getting caught, actually. With a weird flash, should have accepted the death there. But just accept the mistake, and that would be that. So basically building Cinderhulk with his blue smite. Then into a Spirit Visage, because obviously naturally ZAC heals a lot with his passive. And then now building into what looks to be a Thornmail. One thing also worth mentioning, if you actually look at the player names, There are teammates in this game who aren't on the same team. Meanwhile, Misfortune might be getting caught. Does the Q happen with the with his ultimate? And yeah, Misfortune is going to die. Weirdly, the Thresh does look to be like trying to confirm these kills, like actually take them. I think that's the second kill that he's finished off with his E when he probably didn't need to. But as I was mentioning, the enemy Renekton has SUP at the beginning of it, and the Nico has SUP at the beginning of it too. This is the weird thing about high rating, is because there's not many players, you play against people you know, or you play against teammates. It actually happened to me. Back in the day when I played for a team called Absolute Zero, I played against my teammates quite often. We were on the same rating. It was Diamond 1, Master, or MMR back in Season 4, Season 3 and 4, or whatever it was. Yeah, there weren't enough people, so you always, when you're queuing up at the same time, not necessarily in duo queue, you played against the same people. Pantheon getting caught, though. This could be the start to the momentum shift that we were talking about. So there's one kill. ZAC gets it. Now Renekton, can he get a kill? He doesn't get a kill. So this is literally what we were saying. They need to slow down the game, but things need to start swinging for red team. If nothing swings, then the game would be over. But that's one kill, that's two kills, and now there's 3 kills for red team. And now can they do Baron? Like, this is it. They've broken the momentum of blue team by mistakes of their own, let's be honest, by being alone as a Pantheon support in the enemy jungle. So what can they do now? ZAC is going for a dive, and I'd say weirdly by himself. ZAC getting ulted by Misfortune. She probably shouldn't have done that though, because I think that ult actually killed her. Does get a kill. So now Set is weirdly making a recovery this game, and now they can go into the dragon and continue now the momentum swing for red team. Oh god, these replays, man, sometimes they weirdly give me a headache, because a lot of this, you know, you think of high rating. This ZAC, like, we haven't spoken about him as an individual. Currently, this ZAC is a Grandmaster player. And I've also noticed something that actually may make sense. He's Grandmaster 500 LP of me recording this. He is mainly a one-trick person, it has to be said, not of ZAC. So he's a Pantheon one-trick. So I actually now am making the conclusion, maybe that makes more sense why there's a Pantheon support on the enemy team. Again, speaking what we said earlier, is people in this rating play against each other all the time. If you know there's a Pantheon one-trick in queue and you're not going to ban it, what is the other thing to do? What's the other thing to counter it? You pick it yourself. You know, that's the thing. But so, worth noting, this player has 409 games of Pantheon with a 54.5% win rate. So I'll go very good Pantheon. It is currently EU West's 19th best Pantheon. ZAC is his second most played, and he is EU West's 15th best ZAC with 50 games, 54% win rate. So again, not bad. But that actually makes more sense why potentially there is now a Pantheon support. ZAC is walking into the Elise. Elise hasn't reacted. What is happening? Hold up, what's happening? What's happening? Oh, snap. I think internet just died for multiple people. Oh, like the Thresh died. His internet died. Pantheon's went. Elise's went. So, worth noting, what just happened? Again, some of these people are going to be teammates. They could be pros for, you know, playing in the same gaming house. And if their internet goes, they go at the same time. That's actually kind of funny. But again, red team had the momentum shift before all that craziness just happened. And worth noting, because it's been the grand argument for years in League of Legends. Someone DC on enemy team, what do? You kill them in ranked. In normal game, I wouldn't be bothered. But the momentum shift is now for red team. Baron is now being started. What is this game? So yeah, that was a bit weird. Obviously, some DCs happened. Was it like the reason that the red team won the fight? Arguably, maybe. But they were kind of starting to win anyway, which is good, I guess. ZAC obviously being massive this game. 8-8 so far. 192 farm. He has the most farm in the game as a jungle ZAC. That's crazy. 196 now because he obviously got the Baron kill, which counts as 4 minions. But yeah, like, it's just mental. Item build wise now, I presume he's going into, what would that be? A Randuin's Omen, I presume? Which I mean, it's a good item, but does he really need it? You know, it's an anti-crit item, which obviously counters the Misfortune, but the Misfortune is currently 3 and 9. Do you really need to build an anti-crit item for a champion that's not doing that well? I don't know. Maybe there's a better item? Well, what else would he build, really? He needs armor to stop the Renekton and maybe even the Pantheon. So maybe actually Randuin is fine because it gives a lot of armor. But one thing worth noting, he has Baron. And what is this ZAC doing? Yeah, he's still farming. So maybe it's a bit like this, going to sound weird. Maybe it's a bit too much farm. But that is what this guy's playstyle is. Farm, farm, farm. Red team now grouping in mid lane. Twisted Fate, as you can see, is in bot lane trying to get that split push on. Break up the team. Like, what do blue team have to do? We've spoken about it earlier this game. ZAC lands the E. Misfortune is in trouble, gets killed. Renekton going in, gets hooked. Gets CC'd, does flash, can the Renekton get the kill, gets pushed back, ZAC over on this side with the Elise, Neeko goes aggressive, ZAC also going aggressive under the tower. What can ZAC do? 2-level lead for him right now, and Elise probably is actually dead. She is dead. Meanwhile, Set now goes to bot lane to stop the Twisted Fate, and by now the Twisted Fate is back in here, back in his base. What an absolutely mental game. Red team now pushing into the base. Set is going to get rid of the split push in bot side. They don't obviously need him because most of the enemy team is dead. They are going to go for the jump. They do land it. Good hook by Thresh. Now on the back foot. He could get killed actually. ZAC, if he's not careful, is going to be a bit careful. They should prioritize getting the inhib. They do get the extra kill, so it's a non-technical ace. Neeko goes weirdly aggressive. Now, that was weird. And again, that's the type of thing that's annoying because, oh, dragon spawning in 15 seconds. God damn it, Neeko, why did you have to die? Because, you know, you probably lose the momentum now because you're down a person. Obviously, the enemy team doesn't have Twisted Fate either, but arguably, he has 10 seconds, you know, before in spawn time. They have to be really careful right now. I do not like this positioning at all. Set going to go aggressive, though. Just dies, doesn't press W. Elise then gets the Thresh. What is this game? Now remember, this is a Grandmaster Challenger. Syndra's now dead. This is a Grandmaster Challenger level game on EU West. The hell's going on? I have no idea. So Randuin's is now complete for ZAC. 9-10 currently performance. 214 farm. Still remaining the highest farm in the game. Whew, crazy. Worth noting, this whole video, I don't know if the video titles were like, is ZAC worth playing or is ZAC too strong? Genuinely, I do think ZAC is insanely strong for solo queue. I don't really watch pro play anymore, so I don't know if he's being picked up in pro play. I'm not sure if he is, but in solo queue, I think he's nuts. For a tank, he's kind of like, what's the best way to describe ZAC jungle? Honestly, I think he's the Ornn of jungle, if you know what I mean. Ornn top lane is stupid tanky and does a lot of damage for not building any damage. ZAC is stupid tanky and does a lot of damage for not building any damage. So now ZAC is going for this. I don't know if he should have done that. He needs E. Yeah, see, he made a mistake there, which again, everyone's going to do. He should have saved his ultimate for when Twisted Fate was going to try and ult away, because either you needed to time it so you have your E ready for the teleport, or just save your ultimate. Like, ZAC could have definitely killed that Twisted Fate. He's actually not very strong. Also worth noting, it does seem that the Medjai's curse has struck this game. I don't know if I'm the only one, but whenever I buy a Medjai's and I'm having a good game, as soon as I buy Medjai's, everything goes to poop and then you start losing. Legit, nearly every time I buy Medjai's. And yeah, the Twisted Fate bought Medjai's and the game's going to poop. If you're wondering what the hell is his build about, I honestly don't really have any idea. That seems a really bad build. It's confused. I guess it's for split pushing, but that's weird. Like, there's better builds for split pushing than that by far. So I'm not really sure what that Twisted Fate build is about, if I'm honest. They still have the inhibit mid, so they should be looking to do things here. Like, push up the top if they want to do that. Try to break into the tier 1. That's free gold, baby. Like, you haven't got a tier 1 tower at half an hour into the game. All the tier 1 towers should be dead by now. So they should maybe look to that. Push in and then rotate to Baron is what they could do. But that doesn't seem to be what's happening. So, what's going to continue? So, Neeko is built, obviously, Glacial Neeko. That gives a lot of utility to slow the enemy team, to catch the enemy team. ZAC going aggressive, looking for the misfortune. She is by herself, but is, you know, a little bit too far gone for them to actually make a play. Enemy team potentially out of position, actually. So this could be a big fight. ZAC finds a Twisted Fate who's going to basically do negative damage to him. He misses the E. He gets ignited straight away to reduce his healing, which a little bit of a panic ignite. I'm not really sure about that. Set is now pushing in the bot side, so they will probably meet up down here. Enemy team is asking for Baron, by the way. They could try and do a Baron. The game is insanely close. The enemy blue team actually has more gold right now. Look at the tankiness of ZAC, by the way. ZAC absolutely tanked the whole enemy team. Pantheon at this stage of the game has fallen off. Twisted Fate gets hooked but flashes away. ZAC actually scrapping with the Renekton, who used his bulk. Doesn't get the kill. Set going a little bit too aggro. Can he get a kill? He does do a lot of damage. Does get the kill. That is worth it. You get rid of the enemy AD carry. Renekton by himself. Again, arguably, probably has fallen off by now into the game. He can't get a kill. Does die to the ZAC, who makes himself double digits. Thresh goes to the hook, doesn't get it, but they know she's going to be landing. They're going to go for the kill. ZAC in the base, by the way, on the Twisted Fate, slowing him, waiting for his team to catch up. And that will be a very clean game. Really well played by ZAC, honestly. Was in the way of, like, engage by the Renekton. You know, stop them, CC'd them. That was fantastic. So ZAC actually finishes this game 263 farm. Damage-wise, I actually can look that up very quickly. So damage-wise, the Renekton actually did the most damage in the game. Then the Syndra. Then the Pantheon. And then the ZAC. So ZAC actually came... Oh, the game might actually not be over, which is kind of funny. But yeah, ZAC actually came... fourth in damage, and he has not a single damage item. He is pure tank. But yeah, 10-2-13, incredibly tanky. And you can see there, he has an Amp Tome. That will probably be his final item, would be damage. That would probably be a Liandry's Torment. Some ZACs buy it earlier. I don't like them buying it earlier. I think you should be... Your job as ZAC is to tank. Get that sorted, buy tank items. If you're having a great game, then buy the Liandry's. But yeah, overall, really fantastic to see. Again, good recoveries from several people. The Syndra ended up doing really well, 15-7. The Set obviously having a very rough game. He did an okay recovery. You know, like, damage-wise, he didn't do incredible damage. But, you know, he was useful. He killed the Misfortune in the last fight by himself. So, yeah, useful. But that is going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, throw a like on the video. That was ZAC. I might be playing him in the next couple of days with me kind of going back in the jungle a bit. But yeah, let me know what champions you want to see. I am doing these obviously a little bit more. They're good content to make. Hopefully you guys enjoy them. And if you could do me a massive favor before you leave the video, throw a like on the video, throw a comment, throw a subscribe. Massive help. And I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you're doing well. Goodbye.